Hi skaters, Natasha here, sports dietitian. Do you ever wonder if you consume enough fuel as a skater? Fuel needs vary tremendously from one skater to the next, depending on your age, depending on if you're going through a growth spurt, depending on also what season it is in terms of training, if you're in more of a taper for competition type of season, and even depending on what your training session looks like that day, and if you have on ice and off ice, or maybe just one or the other. Okay, so skaters are at risk for something called REDS, or Relative Energy Deficiency in sport. This is when you do not consume enough fuel for your output. So when the gap is too wide between what you eat and the energy you put out in practice and in training, the issue becomes that the body can't help all the systems function as well as possible. And so the body sort of puts the systems on a sort of eco-friendly mode. But unfortunately, that's not the best function for your body. And so a lot of the times these issues can arise either when a skater is trying to lose weight and cutting calories back too much, but it can also arise just accidentally when a skater is maybe has a very strict schedule and doesn't have much time for food preparation or even for eating, and is just running from one activity to the next with school and with practices and so on. It sometimes happens when there's a lack of appetite as well after practice, which we tend to see every now and then in skaters who push themselves. They may not have an appetite for a couple hours afterwards. And in other cases, if you have an iron deficiency, that can actually also reduce your appetite to the point where you may not consume enough. So symptoms, what to look for. If you are always very fatigued, if you have trouble seeing training adaptations or improvements in your skating from one week to the next or 1 month to the next, if you are often catching colds, having immune system issues, or even getting injured fairly frequently, these are signs of possible relative energy deficiency in sport. In female athletes as well, we'll often see that you may have an absent menstrual period, or you may have a menstrual period that's not regular. These are signs as well that there can be some issues there. And so if any of these signs occur, you definitely want to talk to your coach, you want to talk to your physician, and you want to talk to your sports dietitian to see what you can do to improve your nutrition so that you are eating properly for your sport. Now, to prevent REDS from happening, some of the things you can do is, number one, making sure that you're eating regularly. We're talking about every 3 hours throughout the day, so meals and snacks. Bring food along with you. You also want to make sure that you're eating the 3 equal parts of the plate, minimal, so you may need to have even more carbohydrate than that, but as a baseline, you want to make sure that when you eat, you're having whole grains, which could be bread, pasta, rice, cereal. It could also be granola bars, homemade muffins, for example. And then we're going to have also fruit or vegetables that are going to help us with antioxidants and also with fueling, of course. And the third part of our plate is always going to be protein. So protein could be something like eggs, nuts, nut butter, wow butter. We could be looking at fish, at meat, cheese, Greek yogurt, tofu. So all these options combined can help make sure that you are getting enough fuel. Obviously, in terms of quantity, we're going to listen to our appetite. And if there's any questions further, then you go in and dig a little deeper